We're now live.
Welcome to the special meeting of the Pyrenees Shire Council for Monday the 11th of May 2026. As the meeting chair, I give my consent for this special council meeting to be streamed live, recorded and published online. The chair and or the CEO have the discretion and authority at any time to direct the termination or interruption of live streaming. Such direction will only be given in exceptional circumstances where deemed appropriate. That may include where the content of debate is considered misleading, defamatory or potentially inappropriate to be published. The public is able to view this live stream via our website at www.pyrenees.vic.gov.au. Should technical issues prevent the continuation of the live stream, the meeting will continue as long as a quorum can be maintained, and where possible, a recording of the meeting will be published on Council's website. Where a quorum cannot be maintained, the meeting will be adjourned until the issue is resolved or the meeting postponed to another time and date in accordance with the Council governance rules. We acknowledge the people past and present of the Wadawurrung, Jar Jar Wurrung, Eastern Maar, Watchabolek, Jardbar, Jardbar Jarli, Werrigai and Jupagulk nations whose lands and waters the Pyrenees Shire operates on. We pay our respects to their ancestors and elders and recognise and respect their customs, stewardship and continuing connection to country. There's no apologies. Is there any notice of disclosure of interest by councils or officers? None identified. That takes us to item 6.1, corporate draft, the 2026-27 draft budget and 10-year financial plan. Sturdy, thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. This report presents the Council with the Pyrenees Shire Council draft budget for the 26-27 financial year and the draft 10-year financial plan covering the years 26-27 to 35-36 for Council to consider placing the documents on public exhibition and inviting submissions. If endorsed for consultation, the draft budget 26-27 and draft 10-year financial plan will be made publicly available, and Council will invite written submissions from Tuesday the 12th of May 2026 until 9 a.m. Wednesday the 10th of June 2026. The revenue and rating plan was adopted for a 4-year period, and as there were no proposed changes to the 4-year plan, there is no requirement to put this plan out for public comment. The draft budget 26-27 and draft 10-year financial plan have been prepared taking into consideration the rate cap set by the Victorian Government of 2.75%, alongside current economic factors, including rising costs, particularly in areas such as construction, materials, insurance, utilities, salaries and service delivery. In response to ongoing economic challenges, Council will continue to carefully review its services and how services are delivered now and into the future. This will include looking for efficiencies, prioritising spending and planning responsibly to ensure Council can continue to deliver essential services and key projects into the future. Members of the community who prepare a written submission can request to speak to their submission at the 15th of June 2026 meeting of Council. And once the community engagement period has closed and any supporting verbal submissions have been heard, Council will further consider proposals within the financial constraints and alignment to strategic objectives. Council will then hold a special meeting of Council on the 22nd of June, where they may adopt the draft budget 26-27 and draft 10-year financial plan with or without amendment. On that basis, it's the officer's recommendation that Council 1 gives public notice in accordance with sections 55 and 96 of the Local Government Act 2020 of Council's intention to adopt the draft budget 26-27 and 10-year financial plan prepared in accordance with sections 94 of the Act at a Council meeting to be held at 6 p.m. Monday 22nd of June 2026. Gives public notice seeking submissions on the proposals contained in the draft budget 26-27 and 10-year financial plan. Written public submissions will be accepted for 28 days, ending 9 a.m. Wednesday 10th of June 2026. And 3, gives public notice that any person who wishes to be heard in support of a written submission provided to Council should indicate in the written submission that they wish to appear before council at the scheduled council meeting on Monday, the 15th of June, 2026, to verbally present their submission either personally or via a person acting on their behalf at the meeting.
Thank you, Ms Erdity. Councillors, we have a recommendation there. Would someone like to move that?
Mr Mayor, before you move that resolution, I just need to adjust those dates by 1 week, just so that I've got sufficient time to put an ad in the paper to advertise those dates.
Thank you, Mr Kelly. What's the amendment you'd like to?
So just each of those dates need to be expanded by 1 week. So submissions would open on the 18th of May. They would close on the 15th of June. Council would consider any submissions on the 22nd of June, and a meeting would be held on the 29th of June to consider to adopt the budget.
Thank you, Mr Kelly. Got those amendments made into that recommendation. Thank you for that. Councillors, we have a recommendation there. Would someone like to move that? Moved, Councillor Toll. Seconded, Councillor Keogh. Councillor Toll, would you like to speak to that?
No, that's fine.
Any councillors wish to speak to the report? No. I'd like to thank Glenn and his team and all the officers that have put this draft budget together. It's been a fairly significant amount of work, probably more than usual because of the economic times that we see ourselves in. So thank you, Glenn, and your team for that significant amount of work, which I know is ongoing. It doesn't just stop now. There's constant review of what's there and what we have to do into the future. And I think just for the public's benefit, it'd be no secret that economically times are very difficult, especially for a small rural council like us with a lower rate base. So that's no secret, I don't think. The budget will be on display for your perusal and comment. I do urge everyone to have a look at it. I know it can seem like an overwhelming and complex document, but please have a look at it and don't think that any question is silly, because it's not. And please don't be afraid to write down some questions and bring those to us if you need to, or speak to your councillors, or during that display time, get hold of the council and ask some questions. Again, it's no secret that we have to find some savings, but also try and maintain a level of progress and a satisfactory level of service to the community, which is a real juggling act because everything costs money. We know that. We'll strive to do this through the constant review of the service levels, the community feedback and compliance. So it's really important we do get your feedback. If you think we're not doing something right or something's not quite right, or you think you can know how we can find a saving, please let us know, because we're all ears, I assure you. The community, they would also expect council to display a high level of fiscal responsibility, which we'll adhere to. However, it's a juggling act, as I said, to have the two, to keep providing those services, a higher level of service to the community, and then find savings. It's really, really difficult, but we'll keep at it. So again, I urge you, please have a look at the draft budget and make any comments or suggestions if you feel necessary. So thank you all to all those people. And again, thank you, Glenn, and your team for the magnificent amount of work that you've put into it. It's been very difficult. Councillors, all those in favour? Thank you. That brings the meeting to an end, so I'll close the meeting at 6:09 p.m. Thank you.